Hey guys, alrighty, we are live. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little lazy this morning. I didn't prepare yet here, so just gotta set my charts up real quick here. So it is Friday. We have a pretty nice opening gap down. Very impressed. Yesterday kind of was a bearish day, obviously, and there was quite the setup for this move. However, I really kind of actually thought we might go back for a back test off the EMAs on the daily first before we went lower, but right now we're going for it. So honestly, this is almost identical to where we opened last Friday. If you remember last Friday, we opened pretty much in the same exact thing. We were super red. We were very much so to the downside. And then, boom, the market bought the dip like crazy. So, we got to be careful that that doesn't happen again. I think it's very plausible that they could buy this dip right back up. But we'll just kind of see where the market comes here. So right now, basically, we're making a really nice range. So you got pretty much 66.80 to 67. We'll call it 03. Could really go up to 67.15 though. And then we got 24.671 to again 24.766, but really we'll go up to 24.829. That's pretty much our range right now. We are obviously riding the EMA support lower. We are looking pretty good. If you go over to the daily time frame, we are basically on NQs sitting at the low from Friday of last week. So that's that 24.695. We actually did break that Friday low. So pretty much 24.757 to 24.794. That is our major bounce area. That's our daily support area. That's kind of what we want to watch. And then over in ES, we actually have a little bit more downside to 66.59 for our bounce area over there. So certainly kind of just seeing where we go here. VIX loves to be crushed on Fridays. Right now, it's up 11%, and I think it was up almost 20% yesterday. So we got to be careful that they don't crush that VIX, because if they crush the VIX, we are going to see another similar massive wick to the downside. So just kind of see where we go from here. But that's kind of where we're set up for market here. So I decided to add some music in the background. I usually, when I'm not streaming, I do always listen to some sort of music in the morning. And while I'm trading, it just kind of, I don't know, I don't like the silence. I hate silence. If it's too much, let me know. I don't care if you don't like my song choices. But if it's too loud or like it's overpowering me, let me know. Or if, if it's a good sort of sound right now, like level-wise, let me know too. We'll go from there. But here we go, opening, generally speaking, 66.98 and 24.754 look like a good rejection here. Let's see if we get a back test off 66.80 and 24.671. We might get a nice little push lower here. So here we go. We're testing 66.98 and 24.755. Oh yeah, update on my account. So yesterday I did get my $7,500 payout from FNF. Great feeling there. I have my 6th account right now that just needs about $600 in the day, and I can get my last $1,500 for the full 9K payout. I have that one account that just got messed up. I accidentally bought a legacy instead of a rapid, so it threw me off a day on my funded and stuff, which is super annoying, but it is what it is. And then I have one my funded futures account that is up good right now. I just hit my $100 profit, so I will request 1,000 from there. And then yesterday was the day 1 of 5 for my new my funded futures core accounts. So that puts me, hopefully, the Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, next Wednesday, that puts me at another 4K in payouts from my funded futures. So I'm actually hoping to get moved live next week on my funded futures, generally because I have been live, I think 4 times now with my funded futures. Generally, once I do 2 payouts in a row, they will move me to live. So we'll see if that plays out here or not. All right, so looking good here on the rejection, floating down to that 66.80 and 24.671 level. Again, that looks like a good spot. If we break that on NQ, we have a pretty big downside move to potentially 24.488, and on ES at least 66.63. So I actually almost took a short right there at 24.715. I was watching it, but it's early in the day. I didn't want to be too aggressive just in case they brought some volatility in here. But this is looking solid to the downside. We have really nice sellers, not buyers, sellers here on the 5-minute, the 15-minute too. We just went up. Pretty much basically what we're doing right now is forming a bear flag on the 15-minute with this rejection. So again, if in 2 minutes here we can close under 66.80 and 24.671, we'll look for a back test real quick and then take a short. VIX is very nicely pushing higher, and that's sort of kind of where we're at here. So moving over, I want to look at something. I posted in the chat this morning. Let's see here. So right now, currently, we are officially at a 5% correction on Qs and NQ. We are not quite there yet on ES and SPY. We probably got like another % or so to go to get to that level. Okay, we got 40 seconds to close here. We're going to look for a short, looking for basically a back test real quick. I like to see a quick little pop to the upside, and then we'll look for the short. I'm not sure why my Ninja, if you guys can see that over here, my Ninja has like missing levels. That's weird. But anyways, so here we go. 20 seconds to close, and then we'll look for a short. All right, so we got our close. Here's our pop right back to 24.671. We have stronger sellers. We got to be careful they don't overshoot this upside pop. They like to do that sometimes. But once it rejects, we should see a pretty big short here, and that should be hopefully our profit for the day, and we can go about our weekend and our Friday. So they are overshooting the back test. This is why I don't usually anticipate the rejection. So again, we could have anticipated 24.671 rejecting and take the short right then, right there. But this is what happens sometimes is they like to overshoot the rejection. So they might take this all the way back up here, as you can see, to this kind of basically the 5-minute 20 EMA and the point of control. We still have stronger sellers, so I like the downside. VX and VIX did get a little big rejection there, so got to be careful now and kind of play this out here. All right, so right now we are testing that range resistance of 24,754 to 24,766. If we close a 5-minute candle over this level, there is potential of a V bottom. There's potential this could push higher. Man, I don't want to say that this is going to be a repeat of Friday where they just destroy the VIX and we go straight up rallying, but it absolutely is potential that it could happen. Okay, so right now testing key levels here, big levels here. Patience is key to this here. Really, I'd give room up to 24,829 for our rejection spot too. If we don't close over that, I would think we're going to come back down. But again, just kind of being patient here. And this is why a lot of times too, you guys will see me be patient, and I don't usually jump aggressively into plays. I always wait for some sort of back test, mean reversion, confirmation, whatever you want to call it. And these rogue candles right here are why I do that, because you know, that setup, I mean, that was an A plus short setup that was forming. You know, we had the big rejection off the range, we closed under range support, and then we were looking for that breakdown, but it just didn't come. So again, you know, we could have anticipated that short off the 71, but obviously that would not have worked out very well for us. So again, 829 is now our rejection spot. If this 5-minute closes over that, we could see a pretty impressive rally back to 25,000. But again, ES actually is not participating as much on this upside here. So we got, I don't like the upside. I don't think it's there yet. Even looking over at VX and VIX, we're coming down, basically sitting back on our EMA support. So the odds of a bounce over there on VX and VIX are high. And even on 5-minute ES and NQ, there's just a little bit of buyers. So now we're at an interesting spot here. If you look at ES 5-minute, we closed under, 66.98. Which is that 5-minute ORB resistance. So that would generally say that we could go back, touch 67.03, and then boom, right back down to 66.70. Now, when you look at NQ, we actually closed over our ORB resistance of 24.760. Right now, it's attempting to test and bounce off that support, and then again, it looks like it wants to go for 829. However, you know, we're still in a downtrend, so the favor goes to a rejection. I don't see this as a high probability breakout. I actually do think this is a decent short opportunity here. The only reason I don't like the short is because of that we do have some buyers here. So they could, and I believe it was Monday or Tuesday they did this to us. They just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and then eventually it broke free to the downside. So we might see a bit of a repeat of that. But again, when we look at the daily, we're at such major support levels here. It could again be just a massive V bottom like last Friday. Yeah, this is a poor song choice if you were looking for a short opportunity here. Okay, so here's that rejection right off 829. So that's what I was saying, that I didn't think it was a good opportunity, and that 829 was really kind of our last stand for bulls. They needed to close over that level to really clear the overnight range and resistance. So we'll see where this 5-minute candle closes. I don't think we have a definite direction here yet, but we'll just kind of see. So if both ES and NQ can close over this level here, again, I would give it 67.03 on ES and 24.829 on NQ. The potential for the V bottom is certainly there. I'm looking at VIX right now, and it got a big slap here. So we are setting up the V bottom. We are setting up the big breakout to 25,000. So we got about 20 seconds to close here. Not really seeing a solid... The play is starting to look like the upside. It's hard to ignore that now we do have aggressive buyers on NQ 5 and 15 minute. This will be a reversal essentially because we're going to retake closure over the EMA resistance. We did break range resistance there too. I would love to see some sort of back test off maybe 24,780. That's that 5-minute 50 EMA support to then potentially take a long. But it's just not an A plus long for me here yet. All right, I took the long here. See if we get our breakout. It looks pretty good for the upside here. We got basically the back test off the 15-minute 20 EMA support. We are breaking through previous levels there. So again, it looks strong to the upside. I don't really see a reversal here. Very, very aggressive 5-minute buyers. VX and VIX are breaking down, especially VIX. It's actually under EMA support now, so that's also in congruence with NQ being over EMA resistance. So this is now A+. I see at least 895 as a target, but likely this is going up to 983 to 2500 area. Okay, so we are at a break even here. We're going to take that down just a little bit more. I want this to have the volatility room to hopefully get our full 40-point target here. Okay, I feel more comfortable with, let's do that, about 5-point. Okay, there we go. There she goes. All right, let's go ahead and lock in 10 points. Boom. Okay, there she. Ooh, a couple of them hit. You heard the target filled. Everybody but my stupid leader hit. Come on, baby, hit it. There she is. All right, so we are out. Flat and all, flat and all. So there it is. There it is. 40 points on the stream. Very nice, patient win there. So that sets me up nicely. I will request 1,500 from FNF today. I will also request 1,000 from my funded futures tonight when I'm done. This now completes day 1 of 3 for my second payout in a row on my other 5 FNF accounts. We will go into next week with about $1,600 in drawdown on those accounts, which is excellent. So hopefully, if all goes well next week, we will take out on Tuesday 7,500. On Wednesday, we'll take out another 1,500 from FNF. And then we should be able to take out on Wednesday, because it'd be Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yep, we'll take out another 4,000 from my funded futures on Wednesday too. So that would give us roughly next week about 13,000 more in profit. This week I was able to take out 10,000 in profit. So again, this is a great week or great month of trading. Probably one of my better ones so far. Glad you guys will be able to see it on stream. But I'm out. I'm out. That is all I have to say. I'll see you guys Monday.